After a baby bounce earlier today off of the 50-day moving average, did Bitcoin just signal a further continuation to the upside? With record low exchange reserves, how likely is it that 43,000 is the bottom? And billionaire investor Larry Cabbage Patch warns, beware of Bitcoin. Does Grandpa have a point, or is his dementia acting up again? And is Bitcoin signaling that it is about to go on a monster run, leaving altcoins bone dry like a middle-aged woman in an unhappy marriage? I'm your host, Donnie Duty Pop, and we have some absolutely mind-blowing things to be going into today as Bitcoin prepares to what I believe is going to be an absolutely very surprising and even shocking second half of September. So if you guys are new to the channel, make sure to hit that like, subscribe, turn on these absolutely time-sensitive alerts, as well make sure to enter for our ADA competition. We only have 4 days left. And as well, if you're interested in staking with our new stake pool, after only 24 hours, a very large amount has already joined. As we race to achieve saturation, make sure to check that out below. Without any further ado, let's dump on in. Wow, so I want to start with this, and this was just posted today. Billionaire investor Leslie Cumberbatch warning Bitcoin buyers, also ringing the bell on inflation, and some other stuff. So there are quite a bit of quotes, but there's something in particular that I want to talk about, and yes, it's about Bitcoin. So he does say market structure is broken. There's no stabilizing forces in the market now. It's all run by machines. I love this. So if you don't understand Bitcoin, it means you're old. I'm 78. I'm old. I don't understand it. One thing I do know is it's not in the interest of the U.S. government to further substitute for the U.S. dollar. Okay, that's great. Crypto is much bigger than the U.S., so if the U.S. botches this, then they'll just end up paying for it for decades and lose out and just get further and further behind, as they're already slipping anyway. But he says, I'd be very careful with Bitcoin. I don't think it makes a great deal of sense. If you're nervous about the world, gold would be a better store of value. And this is what I find exceptionally interesting. Okay, this is the same interview. My guess is I'd be very careful with Bitcoin. I don't think it makes a great deal of sense. And if you're nervous, gold would be a better store of value. But he also added that he owns very little gold. And he says he's a paper guy. I'm a perennial optimist, so he doesn't really own gold, even though he's recommending gold over Bitcoin. Also, which he's admitting, he doesn't understand Bitcoin. So I guess my question is, why is it important that we listen to somebody about Bitcoin that admits that they don't understand Bitcoin? I have absolutely no idea how a worm produces more worms. How do they replicate, right? I have no idea. So if somebody wanted to learn about worm procreation, they wouldn't come to me for answers. So why are we going to a guy that doesn't understand Bitcoin about why we shouldn't invest in Bitcoin? And why would anybody publish this? Complete turkey gobble. And as well, this is very big. So Bitcoin supports levels suggesting 43,000 is the floor. So not just retail, but even derivatives platforms have been seeing major withdrawals of Bitcoin this week, while overall Bitcoin supply is becoming less mobile. Data from fellow on-chain analytics firm Glassnode confirmed on Friday, this section of the supply, which last moved 1 to 2 years ago, reached a 3-year low. And those who last moved Bitcoin to an address between September 2019 and September 2020 are therefore not touching. Those who moved Bitcoin to an address between September 2019 and September 2020 are therefore not touching their holdings, and you can see that illustrated here. And with that being said, $42,000 to $43,000 is a level people have been talking about for about a couple days now, ever since we've had a drop to look for support, which I think makes a lot of sense. And what I tweeted back 2 days ago on the September 8th was that this is what I think will happen from a psychological standpoint. Bitcoin trends down for a bit longer, and since I posted this, it has been trending down, even slightly below where everyone is telling you it will find support. So in this case, potentially slightly below 43,000, right? People panic, then we get a bounce. Everyone thinks, wow, it's all good, we're going back to all-time highs. Then a massive dump to where everybody panics, it says it's all over. And then we have the mega blast that the people that did not soil their trousers can benefit from. So psychologically, I think that is what makes the most sense over the rest of this month. And based on what we've seen so far, if we take a look at price, that's what I want to jump into. And as well, Bitcoin actually is up a little bit since I started the video. Very nice. I did tweet as well that I guess I placed a limit order a day or two ago, and it did fill, and now I'm up a lot on that position. So that's awesome. Very welcome surprise looking at that. But what I want to look at right now as well is the Bitcoin dominance, which potentially are we seeing a double bottom pattern on the Bitcoin dominance, meaning we're about to enter Bitcoin's second leg of this bull market. We've seen alts actually go kind of crazy. Some of these top alts, Solana, Algorand, and some other ones go crazy over the last week. I mean, even last month it was all about ADA, and even a little bit before that it was about Ethereum. So we have seen a lot of alts do really well, while Bitcoin hasn't really done amazingly well. But are we about to be entering the most manic phase of bull cycles where Bitcoin takes the lead and then altcoins follow? So with that being said, if that would be the case, altcoins most likely wouldn't go insanely explosive while Bitcoin's rallying, because usually altcoins have their biggest gains while Bitcoin just trends sideways. Pretty much trends sideways there. So that's something to be watching for here. Bitcoin dominance potentially getting ready to increase and see Bitcoin go to that 6-digit Bitcoin. Because if Bitcoin heads up to 6 digits this year, you better believe a lot of that volume, a lot of that exuberance is going to be coming from some of these alts as well. People are going to want to capitalize on that, because when Bitcoin runs really strong for the most part, it's mainly Bitcoin that runs and not a lot of these alts. But with that being said as well, we're just a few days away from a golden cross. We actually so far have bounced right on this 50-day moving average. We have the 250-day moving averages right here. So again, just very, very, very strong support, I think, right there. Could we go a little bit below this? Absolutely. That's what I referenced in that tweet, where people think, yeah, we found the bottom and then we might dip a little lower, and that scares them. But ultimately, I think we're in a very good position here, and I think Bitcoin, again, one thing that people that are bearish on Bitcoin and think we're going to 10K, one thing they absolutely never talk about, conveniently, they never look at on-chain data. Like, what are people actually doing? How are they moving their crypto? Are they storing it? What are they doing with it? And that's one thing that you never see like a perma-bear ever talk about, which I think objectively is a little bit more revealing than most other just statistics or indicators of markets in general, right? This on-chain data just reveals to you exactly what is happening. So with that being said as well, Bitcoin continues to really just maintain the support, this support level we've had on here for absolute months, going back pretty far here. So again, good. Maintaining above 40,000 is just really important here. But overall, yeah, I mean, it's looking pretty strong. I personally still would not rule out a short-term little move to the downside, like I talked about with that tweet. Maybe just pushing below what people expect. But ultimately, guys, at the end of the day, none of this really matters as long as we hold above the 21-week, which is about 42,000. Okay, we could dip a little bit below it, but as long as we kind of just don't really spend much time there and bounce there, then it doesn't really matter. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. This will be in 2 days. We will have our 5th weekly candle above the 21-week. And remember, this entire 3-month period, bears were preaching and they were telling you, if Bitcoin comes back up to the 21-week, it is going to get rejected, just like in 2018. Okay, just like here or here or here. And this is the 5th week above it. Guess how many weeks Bitcoin spent above the 21-week in 2018 as it was entering a bear market? 0. Also, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure to hit that like, subscribe, turn on those gives me these absolutely time-sensitive alerts. If you're interested in joining our stake pool with only a 2% margin, basically the lower the margin, the more share of the rewards go to the pool and not the SPO. Make sure to check that out below. We do have a tutorial here just on tylerscrypto.com. It's just a 3-minute tutorial, super easy, super simple. You can move it whenever you want. 4.5 to 5% APY, just trying to get this pool up to saturation. After only 1 day, there have already been a very big increase in people in the pool. And so yeah, if you're interested in getting this bad boy started, this will be my single pool. A lot of people preach about single pool operators, meaning you only operate one pool. And I think that is important for, I guess, just decentralization, right? If somebody had 100 pools, Cardano pools, obviously that would not be, that would go against the whole point of decentralization. So if you're interested in staking and joining with us, you can get all that information below. And without any further ado, that's it for me. Bye-bye.